Hello guys, welcome back. My name is Burke. Now, animals are a fascinating topic that we've talked about a lot on this channel, which is why I think you're going to love today's video. You see, animals evolve to better suit their environment. In this age of climate change and human expansion, environments are changing fast for animals, and many of them are changing before our very eyes. This is the top 10 animals that will change in your lifetime. Also, if you want a most amazing hat, shirt, or pretty much any other clothing item you can imagine, head on over to mostamazingshop.com to get your own right after this video. Coming at number 10 now, we have the Hipster Birds. That is the nickname that's being given to some birds in Australia that are changing to make themselves heard in big noisy cities. A team of researchers recorded birds across a variety of urban and rural environments to see if there was a difference in the frequency of their songs. Calling and songs are a key part of male birds defending their territories and attracting a female mate. It's bad news for them if they can't be heard over the noise of a city. The results were surprising. On average, city birds were singing 195 Hz higher and calling 90 Hz higher than their rural counterparts. As cities get even more busy, you may start hearing incredibly loud birds as they attempt to make themselves heard. Alright, moving on to number 9 now, we have the Supermouse. As long as humans have lived in large groups, mice and rats are never too far away. One of the preferred methods of getting rid of them for many years has been poison, but that might not always work anymore. Scientists recently found a Supermouse hybrid in Germany. It was a genetic mix of the ordinary house mouse and its poison-resistant cousin, the Algerian mouse. The result is a mouse that is perfectly adapted to live in our homes, but is also resistant to warfarin, one of the most common poisons used in rodent control. The research team's lead author, Michael Conn, said, "We've caught evolution in the act." Great. Now they just need to catch the mouse. At number 8 now, we have the tawny owl. This is a common owl found across the forests of Europe, and their colours range from brown to pale brown, grey, or even white. The white and grey helps them blend in with snow during the winter and hide from predators. Researchers in Finland noticed there has been a nationwide increase in more brown coloured owls over the past 48 years. In that same time, the winters in Finland have got a lot milder. If it's warmer there, there's less snow, which means the whiter owls are more easily spotted by predators against the backdrop of a browny green forest. If this continues, we may only see brown tawny owls in the future. Moving on to number 7 now, we have the bedbug. Bedbugs love us. They feed on our blood and live in our beds, hence the name. Pesticides used to kill them have helped us keep them under control for the most part, but they've started changing. One study in America found that bedbugs in New York, a place known for its infestations, are now 250 times more resistant to pesticides than bedbugs in Florida. It only takes a few to be naturally resistant and survive for the whole population to end up resistant. The more chemicals we use on these bedbugs, the tougher they become. This sounds like the plot to a movie. A bad one. Next up at number 6 now, we have the green lizard. Florida's native green lizards have traditionally been found living on low branches and tree trunks. This was until brown lizards moved into the area in recent years. Suddenly, there was half the food available and double the competition. So the green lizards climbed up to the treetops to survive. They needed to adapt to better cling to these smaller, smooth branches in the treetops. Their toe pads grew bigger and their scales got stickier to achieve this, and it all happened in just 15 years, about 20 generations. Scientists were shocked at the degree and quickness of this evolution and are curious to see what will happen in the next 15 years. Alright, at the number 5 spot now, we have pink salmon. This fish swims from the ocean and up freshwater streams to spawn their next generation. Some of them migrate earlier than others. It's all decided in their genes. Scientists noticed that in Alaska, one salmon population was now migrating about 2 weeks earlier in the year than it was 40 years ago. They looked at the data over that time and realized that fish with genes for late migration had all but disappeared from the population. Over that same time period, local water temperature had increased by about 1 degree Celsius due to climate change. Scientists argue that these early migrating fish are better fit to handle the warmer waters, and this change will only continue as temperatures increase. Next up at number 4 now, we have the house finch. In Tucson, Arizona, house finches have developed longer and wider beaks than their rural cousins so that they can more easily consume sunflower seeds in bird feeders. This is an interesting thing to observe in animals when they begin to adapt to better suit a human-made environment. If this trend continues, you may end up with house finches perfectly designed to live in neighborhoods and almost exclusively feeding from bird feeders with their perfectly shaped beaks. Alright, at number 3 now, we have the Mosquito. The London Underground is the oldest subway system in the world. wild, over 100 years old in fact. In that time, many creatures have grown to call it home, including mosquitoes. The mosquitoes that live here have been so isolated from mosquitoes on the surface that they have become an almost entirely different species. Firstly, they only feed on humans, which makes sense because there aren't many other animals that ride the subway. They don't hibernate during the winter, and they don't require much space to mate. These differences have grown so much that the underground mosquitoes can no longer breed with the ones on the surface. They are simply too different. This has all happened in a space of just a few decades, so who knows what will happen in the future. At number 2 now, we have the Anole Lizard. Just like the house finch we talked about earlier, this animal is adapting to its new urban environment in Puerto Rican cities. In the short time the species has been in these cities, they have already evolved to grip and more easily move on artificial surfaces like glass, concrete or brick. This is something that the nearby forest lizards simply couldn't do. One of the researchers said they chased a lizard that ran straight up a 30-foot window and couldn't catch them. I hope they did other research except just chasing. And finally at number 1 now, we have city ants. Cities are hot. They absorb and retain heat, sometimes making them up to 12 degrees warmer than their surrounding environments. That difference is big enough to have a real impact on organisms living there. Scientists in Brazil studied the effect of this on leafcutter ants in Sao Paulo. They tested ants from inside and outside the city for their heat tolerance. When subjected to 42 degrees Celsius, ants from within the city took 20% longer to lose mobility than ants from outside. Now this suggests that hot cities have forced these ants to become more heat resistant than they normally would be. Is there a limit to this, or are we going to see some sort of super ant emerge in our lifetime? Well, that was all very interesting. Do we have any animal lovers watching this video? What animal videos would you guys like to see next? Let me know. My name is Danny Burke. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.